my question is like, where did this everything start from you of wanting to go overseas? Like, how did that begin, and where did you get the idea of I want to leave the States?
And like improving myself, like getting my money right, getting my fitness together, getting my own place and all that, and still getting a low return on investment. And then you try to go talk to people, and they still make it seem like you the problem, no matter what. You know, somebody could, you could go on a date with somebody, and let's say she pull a gun out on you. Somehow they try to make it seem like, oh, you picked the wrong person. You thought I could anticipate that? Like, you know.
What's up, guys? Rex the Biker here. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Passport Bros. So, I don't know what you guys been hearing recently, or like what's going around in whatever community of stuff you're listening to, or whatever influencers, or just whoever you're listening to. I personally don't agree with the whole traveling BS, the whole sex bat thing. In my opinion, you're pretty much paying money, tricking, to have sex overseas. And people try to sugarcoat it with the whole, oh, I'm just going for business and adventure experience. Yeah, cool. But the moment anything that deals with a woman leaves your mouth regarding that, you're a trick. And hey, I go to the extremes, or the opposite extremes of not judging people, but there's a lot of crazy people in this world. And when they do crazy shit, there's a time to start judging and saying what's wrong and what's okay and what's not to talk about, right? Passport bro shit, if you're doing that, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, this is the a big face for the Passport Bros right now. They got a little channel. They got their little shekel merch. They're trying to sell you on some shit. I mean, that's how they're gonna make their money, right? They're trying to make their money with the little amount of views they got. But hey, man, everybody's trying to survive. I'm not surviving all this channel. I mean, so who am I to blame them, right? They got the flash in the pan, so they're hitting it. I mean, they already got their what do I say? They're already influencing weak-minded men to travel abroad and spend what money they got to be with women over there. Alright, so, well, the first thing Austin said here is like, he's trying to point it at women that he had no control in that situation. How do you know that was going to happen? So he's trying to say that only in the United States he's going to run into crazy ass woman that would do something extreme like that, like pull out a gun. I've never encountered something like that, but at the end of the day, he chose to spend time with this woman. So what you're telling me is you don't have any red flags that pop up in your head to realize you might encounter a situation like that? And when he said try to go talk to people, that means you're trying instead of actually just doing it. That shows you have a lack of experience talking with people in general, more so women. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's not a really good excuse or reasoning to go across the countries to trick. But hey, that's what they're all revolving around. So we're gonna continue.
What do you mean by low return on your investment?
The chicks I was dealing with, here and there, I'd be like, let me show you.
Right.
Other times, like, I just did something yesterday, but I ain't got to show you a picture.
Right.
That's bullshit. I didn't work on myself to not be satisfied.
Right.
Like you satisfied putting your girl on YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's what if you build yourself up, that's what you want. Right. In the United States, that's not, from what I'm seeing in my comments, and obviously, most men aren't feeling that way, like they're getting what they want.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I said, well, hey, if I am the problem, let me change the entire environment. Let me change the whole language, the whole continent, the whole culture, everything, just like that.
So he says the words, let me show you, like for examples of the women he's been with. He's so eager to show other people the women he's been with. Maybe that's the reason they're not fucking with you, idiot. He says, I didn't work on myself to not be satisfied. Just because you worked on yourself in your mind on the things you're doing in life doesn't mean you deserve shit in this world. yeah, like everybody can see it. This guy, yeah, he might have worked on himself financially, maybe what he thinks on his looks and stuff like that. But you can tell he's a fucking cornball, and that's why he's not getting shit. And that's why he says things like, "Let me change the whole continent and culture." If I'm the problem, let me change the whole continent and culture. Shit's not gonna change for you, buddy. If anything, women are the same everywhere. You just don't see that because they won't tell you, and they want you for your money, man. Like, here's some other things he said. You're satisfied putting your girl on your YouTube. Who is that? Speak. What? He says, if you build yourself, that's what you want. Who are you talking about, man? Speak for yourself. Like this, in the way this guy talks, he's so eager to say that's all of us. Like maybe because he got this channel and he's getting some views and people are buying his merchandise and he's supporting this BMT thing. That's cool enough, but hey, man, look, speak for yourself, bro. You pick in your mind what your solution is. It's just to change the continent. You took America's USA like furniture, utensils, and switched it all for Chinese ones. I ain't saying nothing's wrong with Chinese stuff, but then sometimes they tend to break a little easier. You feel me? Like most men aren't getting what they want. He's speaking for most men. Like I understand he considers himself to be an influencer and content creator, but when you got someone so fucked in the head and they're talking like this, it's so terrible. Instead of just, and he talks about return of investment, right? Maybe you're making shitty investments on yourself and into women. Maybe you're not taking the time to actually learn what the fuck to do to be more successful in what you want. Instead, he went with that. He took the easy route. He took the easy way out. And he went to a different country. You guys see where this is fucked up? Look, I'm going to keep coming back to it. I'm okay with people making choices in their life. But when it's so blatantly fucking wrong, I feel like there's a good time when people can start judging others. And I'm going to keep saying that. And we'll continue.
Okay.
I was changed as soon as I touched down.
So I got a follow-up question. So, in America, was the problem getting women to have sex with?
No.
Or was the problem finding a quality woman that you would actually build something more than that with?
A quality woman.
A quality
Yeah.
woman. Because that's been a big talking point, like, oh, you can't get none in the States. Oh, it's because you, and I don't think it's the fact that you can't get no sex in the States or you aren't able to have sex in America. It's finding the quality of something beyond sex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of just what I wanted to make clear, because people will hear you talk and people will see your videos and think,
They use some lame incel.
exactly.
Yes, this is not an incel movement. Like guys actively can date in the States if they wanted to. But like you say, yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be honest. It's very hard for women in the States to compare to the women overseas, bro.
It's over with.
Like you dating a woman who's just remarkably beautiful and then feminine. On top of that, and then she'll listen to you. Because I've had women in the States tell me, "Oh, I don't listen to men." Well, we can't have no relationship then if you don't listen to me then.
Right.
I think a lot of guys just want more traditional relationships at the end of the day. That's all.
Exactly.
The relationships we saw growing up from parents and grandparents. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's not that we hate women in the States. It's just like, listen, we can be friends, we can work together, hire you, whatever it is. But as far as a wifey, man, that takes a certain amount of upbringing and culture, you know what I'm saying, to be a wife. Because it's not an easy time. It's not easy to be a husband, but it's not easy to be a wife, man. It takes sacrifices because it's really for the family structure is really for the children. That's sacrificing on both sides, male and female. It just seems like a lot of women have become extremely selfish now, man. Just not feminism, just selfish at the end of the day. to just want to rip the whole family apart or just do things like charge you to see your own child. Like that shouldn't be socially.
I don't know. All I'm hearing is when these dudes talk about finding quality women or finding quality women beyond sex, all I hear is finding women that I'm having a hard time finding women who will listen to me and obey me and be submissive. That's all I hear. I mean, if you're finding that in a different country, we all know why. I mean, you're acting like those women probably aren't single for a reason. Like, come on, this happens everywhere, man. Let me see what else they were talking about. Yeah, like you said, you'll find women that are remarkably beautiful and then feminine on top of that. And then she'll listen to you. Dude, you'll find beautiful women everywhere. And on top of that, they're feminine and they'll listen to you. Oh my God. They're blowing off the money part, dude. They're blowing off the foreign part, man. Oh my God. So the only cool thing this guy said that I liked, and then it went downhill from there, was you have women in the States say, "Oh, I don't listen to men," and he responds, "Oh, well, you can't have no relationship if you won't listen to me then." That's it. It's that simple. And then you move on to the next one, dude. Oh man. And then they said something along the lines of they just want the relationships they saw growing up and with their grandparents. You think this shit wasn't happening back then? I don't know where you guys got it in your mind that this shit wasn't happening 50, 60 years ago. You think everybody was just getting married? Oh, everybody was Christian and everybody was 17, 18 virgins and everybody was just getting married. Motherfucker, those are the 70s and the 80s. Everybody was getting drugged the fuck out and getting fucked. There was no AIDS and HIV. Go look at stories about shit that was happening back then. You think those motherfuckers weren't fucking splooging all over the place and people were getting ran through? They didn't have anything to worry about. Not even the gay communities. Until the fucking AIDS thing started happening. Shit. With all those drugs and everything, you think they didn't have incels back then? You think they didn't have people like questioning them, what the fuck are they doing wrong? You think they didn't have people living in the attics or basements back then? Come on, man. You're telling me everybody knew what the fuck to do back then. You're telling me nobody was traveling back then and looking for cheap whores, right? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And look, they also says, as far as a wifey, that takes a certain kind of upbringing culture. A woman's upbringing culture does not matter. It's if she listens and is submissive to you. That's all that matters. And if she isn't, then move the fuck on. Another thing, women have become selfish. Everyone's selfish. Everyone's prideful. You aren't entitled to shit. There's so many things wrong with these guys.
That's acceptable.
No, that's true.
You know.
So I say, man, I've always said, like, throughout my life, I've had some decent girls here and there in the States, but to me,
and we talk
my
about
best,
different generations.
Yeah, the best chicks I had in the States still can't really stand next to the chicks overseas, because I feel as though in America there's this block they have in their mind that's only gonna let them be so submissive. You know what I'm saying? Because they got that block, like, I'm not gonna let him really take any real control. You know, I'll let him get this far, but you know, and they got people in their ear, and like you were saying, they weren't taught that. Like in these countries, a lot of these girls are taught that growing up, and they see it with their own eyes and stuff like that. So
even as basic as cooking, they're taught that. I mean, that's not just solely what it takes to be a wife, but they're not taught that in the States. If anybody disagrees, I always say we have a fast food culture. There's not just strips. I mean, people do Uber Eats and delivery, that type of stuff around here, but we can all agree that the majority of women in these countries, well, really anywhere outside the United States, are gonna know how to cook.
Yeah, facts, sure. That's mandatory.
Yeah, and if you want a husband, I mean, I would say that's a valuable skill to have if you're looking for a husband.
That's one thing I can say about here and the DR, that women can throw down in both these countries. Right. So Brazil, I didn't get that too much experience with the women cooking. Colombia, gotta kind of maybe go in the kitchen with them a little bit, throw a little Lowry seasoned salt on a little every now and then. But as far as some of the best food, definitely DR and Thailand.
So do you think that
I gotta throw my little
for both of y'all, do you think so it's safe to say that overseas women value men in general more?
They have to. Dog, if we walk on the street in Colombia, how many times does a woman grab your hand when she sees some other guys walking towards y'all? Like, you got to actually protect the women in Colombia. Colombia got a lot going on. A lot of people don't realize how much is actually going on in Colombia. Right. You know, you got a lot of kidnappings going on. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on in these countries. As tourists, sometimes we don't necessarily know that until we live there for a while and really talk with the locals and like, oh, all this is going on. So they actually need a provider and protector in Colombia. You know, versus in the States, you know, it's relatively safe. You got the government there to take care of them if they make some mistakes, you know. Like, they don't have no initiative to even want to be in a long-term relationship because it benefits them more for them to be single in a Section 8 home, getting a check from child support and the government.
That's true.
I mean, you literally got women in the States that their mom was on Section 8. Their grandma was on Section 8. You know, they already know the system before they even turn 18. Right. Then you, as a kind of a naive individual, as a young guy, you go in there, you trying to actually build a family, and she's like, "No, I'm just gonna put you on child support. I can get the money out you anyway, right. Without you even being around. Right. The government gonna pay my rent for me."
Well, I gotta say something about the first thing this guy said. He said, in America, there's this block they have in their mind that's only going to let them be so submissive. Well, the reason that it's like that for you is because you can't take them there and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's all it is. You gotta work on that, buddy. And he also said they're not taught cooking in the States. Bro, speak for yourself, man. Like, who are they looking for? Do they go to the bars every day? Like, it's so strange. And if it's that big of a deal to you, learn how to cook yourself and teach them that shit. If they don't want to learn, and like I said, if it's a big deal, then tell them to fucking beat it. Like, get lost. That's all it is. It's so simple. The solution to everything is tell them to get the fuck lost. It does not matter how many of them. Tell them to get the fuck lost. That's it. What else they say? And another thing he said, it's safe to say overseas women value men in general more. They have to. Holy shit. And his reasoning was because of the danger thing, right? Because they're in more danger. Obviously, they're more in danger, idiot. They're not as well developed. So tell me this one thing. Do you think they'll still be as reliable to seek their safety through men there, unlike they do in the United States, when they become more developed? See, the thing is, with these guys with this mindset, it's just a phase. Because as the world keeps on moving, fellas, while the world gets more developed, there's gonna be probably less crime, I'd say, in these countries that they're talking about and shit. And the same shit's gonna happen there. One thing's for sure, guys. I can tell you one thing I'll always stick by when it comes to the red pill shit, okay? That yes, it is a problem that women don't want to date down or settle for men that make less income from them. Yes, that is a serious problem. But just because of that doesn't mean none of us as men, guys, we're not entitled to shit. You gotta get over that. You gotta keep moving that tongue, get fucking lost. Once you see any resistance, any negativity, anything you don't want, you gotta learn how to vet these women. Like how they talked about if you're like child support and stuff in Section 8 and all that shit. Section 9, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Child support, family courts, divorce courts. If you're worried about any of that shit, you gotta spend more time with the woman to really get them to reveal their true colors. We're not dealing with like CIA, FBI agents over here, you guys. A woman will break her character within 1 to 2 years. 1 to 3 years. Don't just jump into a relationship after a couple months. That is idiotic. Like, anybody will break character, especially if you even spend a little bit of time with them over the weeks, even in a home or something. You'll find somebody's true colors. Nobody has that kind of mental stamina to keep upholding that facade of being fake and liking who the fuck you are. That honeymoon phase will fade away, and then you'll find out who the fuck they really are, and you guys will move on like that, respectively. But whenever you guys are just saying, oh, I'm scared of child support and all that Section 8 shit, that's only because you're scared of your skills because you're lacking in the vetting process to see if a woman will be a good mother for your future children. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust your own mind. You don't trust your own instinct. You just throw it out the fucking window and you go across a different country like you're not going to have the same problem there. Real shit happens. Let's say, hypothetically, you go to a different country, right? You get a chick pregnant because the honeymoon phase, she's submissive and all that shit. And later down the road, damn, I want to keep fucking other women. I'm going to leave this country. I'm going to fuck some more women. She's not going to know about it. I'm turning off my phone and all that shit. Maybe she, just because she likes you in the moment, doesn't mean she's going to like you forever. Like, you don't know if she's going to be fucking some other foreign dude on the side. Anything's possible. It's all human beings are fallible. Just because you go to a different country doesn't make them any less fallible. Anybody's capable of fucking with you. That's why you gotta spend time. I don't care if it's a friendship, romantic relationship, a new family member that just came into a picture, cousin, relative, whatever, just anything. That's why we're so comfortable with familiarity. When you know somebody for a long time and they start doing crazy ass shit and they don't act right, it makes you a little uncomfortable because you're not used to seeing them like that. Man, there's just so much wrong with these fucking dudes. I don't like that passport shit. And then if you guys try to tell me, hey man, passport stuff works, man, I don't give a fuck what works for you. I know what's working for me. Whatever works for you, that's cool. But just like some Mormon chicks knocking on my fucking door, or like, I don't know, like these guys spreading the passport shit, I'm not with it. There's at some point in time where we gotta stop telling people to do crazy, to stop. My bad, I said that wrong. We gotta stop telling people, we gotta stop people from doing crazy shit. And these people are doing crazy shit, bro. But like I said, one big rule is not to give a fuck, right? But I think one thing I stick by is I actually care about the identity of what being a man is. These guys aren't it. Alright, guys. I don't know, if you watch the entirety of this video, you probably noticed my mindset's changed a little bit. And honestly, I can give a fuck what anybody has to say about it. I believe I don't have to prove shit to nobody, and I finally see everything for what it is. And this passport shit, it's not it, bro. It's not it. And it hurts to see other young guys going through the same shit and they pick this path. It's not it, bro. I'd rather you just work on yourself, become a silent motherfucker, dress nice, and work on what you want to fucking do in life. And still have the skills to vet out women and tell women to fuck off. That's all you need to do. It's simple as hell, dude. Alright, guys. You take it easy. I'm going to try my best to keep uploading more videos. Later.